With BMW's plug-in hybrid petrol-electric 330e model, the conventional 320i variant's 184 horsepower 2-litre petrol engine has been matched with an electric motor and a larger battery to create quite a package. Now you can have it with the estate body style and xDrive all-wheel drive too. The current G20 series 330e plug-in hybrid took a big step forward over its predecessor. The main difference between the two cars found when it comes to measurement of the all-electric driving range, thanks to an increase in battery size from 7.6 to 12 kilowatt hours. That's made a big difference, whereas with the previous generation 330e, the range was rated at only 21 miles. With this current G20 series 330e design, BMW claims up to 37.3 miles of zero emissions motoring from a fully charged set of batteries. In other words, if you have a pretty typical daily commute, you might never have to fuel up this car to complete it. As you might expect, this kind of cleverness comes courtesy of a very advanced power plant indeed. In this case, a combination of the 184 bhp 2-litre petrol unit from the 320i mated to an electric motor incorporating an extra boost function. This can increase power to as much as 293 horsepower, reducing the 62 sprint time to 6 seconds exactly. The hybrid system's extra weight does drop maximum speed slightly over that of the ordinary 320i, but it's still rated at 143 miles an hour. Plus, you'll want to know that the brand's xDrive four-wheel drive system is now available on this variant. Let's cover off the things you'll need to get used to in driving this PHEV 3 Series variant. There is automatic transmission, of course. That's BMW's usual ZF 8-speed box with paddle shifters. The drive modes are a bit different though. Sport is the only setting that's carried over from the conventionally engined model. In normal motoring, the car will default to its preferred hybrid drive setting, in which the clever software automatically determines for you the optimum combination of combustion and electric drive. Alternatively, if battery charge levels permit, you can select electric mode, which liberates a bit more punch from the AC motor, although things do peter out a little above 50 miles an hour. Your other options are either sport mode or, better still, extra boost mode, which is the only one in which all 293 braked horses can be released. This isn't the kind of plug-in hybrid model you'll buy if you want to make an eco-statement. Unless you really know your BMWs, there's almost nothing to visually differentiate a 330e from any other 3 Series saloon, unless you happen to spot the side panel charging flap. The cabin looks predictably smart with chrome finishing and high gloss surfaces. This M Sport trim model gets a full live cockpit professional package, which gives you a 12.3-inch virtual instrument binnacle screen and a 10.25-inch centre dash iDrive monitor. There's a respectable amount of rear legroom for what is a manageably sized car. There's certainly more room to stretch out here than was the case with the previous F30 generation 330e model. And out back, well, the 330e Saloon's luggage bay measures 375 litres. That's 105 litres down on a conventional 4-door 3 Series model. This Touring Estate 330e has a 410 litre boot, and that's extendable to 1420 litres. That's 90 litres down on a conventionally engined 3 Series Touring model. The 330e now comes in both saloon and touring estate guises, plus there's a choice of either rear-driven or 4x4 xDrive formats. You get 4 trim levels to choose from: SE, Sport, M Sport and M Sport Pro Edition. Prices start at around £40,000 and rise to around £50,000. Despite the fact that these days there's no longer the government contribution towards purchase price, which undoubtedly helped to boost sales of earlier versions of the old F30 Series 330e, BMW still reckons that this plug-in derivative will be a strong seller. The installation of a more capable 12 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion high-voltage battery has nearly doubled the potential electric driving range to as much as 37.3 miles. And it's increased the all-electric top speed potential to 68 miles an hour. Charging time for the 12 kilowatt-hour battery is around 2.5 hours from a conventional 7 kilowatt garage wall box or a plug-in public charge point. Hook up to a domestic 3-pin socket and the charging time will be just under 5.5 hours. As usual with plug-in hybrids, the official WLTP combined cycle fuel figures up to 217.3 mpg for the saloon and up to 201.8 mpg for this touring version need to be taken with a pinch of salt, but the important thing is that the government believes the quoted CO2 return, which can be as little as 30 grams per kilometre in the saloon or up to 32 grams per kilometre in the touring. Either way, this means a super low benefit-in-kind taxation rating of 10%. Of course, it's unlikely that you'd ever actually achieve the quoted MPG and CO2 figures in the real world, but the important thing is that the government believes them, hence the attractive tax breaks which will come as part and parcel of 330e model ownership. Here, BMW has brought us a hybrid 3 Series model that makes real-world sense. The previous generation 330e struggled a little in that regard with its relatively restricted all-electric driving range. Fortunately though, technology has moved on and this current G20 Series 330e model demonstrates just how far. If you are thinking of a high-spec diesel engine version of this Bavarian contender, we think you really have to look at a 330e as a realistic alternative. The waiting lists for this variant suggest that many potential customers already are.